Good afternoon, Professor Sistrunk. This is Malik Ray. I'm going to be doing the homework for the macros assignment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use relative references. What I'm trying to do is find the number of CD units sold and multiply it by the price per unit to find the total revenue for that unit. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start recording the macro. I'm going to name it CD price. Not going to use a shortcut key. Okay, CD1. Okay, we'll name it macro 1. Or macro M. Okay, I'm not going to use a shortcut because I'm only going to do it one time. So I'll go to the total column, which is where I want the answer to appear. I'll find the function, which is the product function, and I want to multiply C2 by E2, C2 by E2 and get a product for that number. And I would also like this number to, let's say, turn that burgundy bolded color that everything else is. Now I'm going to try to stop the recording and to see if the function works. So if I took all of this and moved it just down a little bit. I can change some of the numbers around. Well, let's just work with maybe the top two numbers. We'll change those around. Maybe 825 and 730, maybe. But let's just use this as a relative reference and use the macro. And there's the number. So that would be 8,000 multiplied by $8.25. So there is the first macro. We see that it worked for both sets of data. And we turned the color of it and everything. So moving on to the second set, we're trying to create a full name. You know, the names are appearing separately in their own individual columns, so as opposed to typing them out and creating one full name. Let's see if we can create a macro that will do that for us. So I'm going to go in, and I believe that we're still using relative references, so let's make this the relative reference, and we're going to go in and we're going to record the macro. We're going to name this one names. Again, no shortcut. Go into this box, which is where we want the product to appear, or the sum in this case, because we're just going to add the rows together. And we want B2 plus C2 plus D2. And we should get a product. Oh, excuse me 1 second. Alright, Professor Sistrunk, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong data set. I had created this one not knowing that I couldn't use it. And so I'm going to go to my next data set. And please excuse any kind of running around you hear in the background. My dog is itching to go for a walk and is doing his dance around the house at the moment. So I'm sorry for the disruption. But what we're trying to do here is we have a column of a father's age, a mother's age, children. So these are all respective ages. I guess I could put age in there. So father's age, mother's age, children's age. And so what we're trying to do, let's say we're working for a company like Nielsen and we want to find the average age of the household. We'd have to add the father, the mother, and the children's age together and divide that by 3. So we're going to try to do that with a macro, so it'll make it really simple for us. Should just kind of go create another data set right now to kind of test it out with. So we'll use the first couple numbers, which is 24, 36, 38, 43. Let's say that. And then the children will be 12, 3, 9, and 10. Alright, so let's try to create this macro. I believe that we are still using relative references. Yes. So I'm going to start this macro. Oh, I tried this before. Okay, so we're just going to replace that. So I'm going to start it. I would like the result to appear there, so I'm going to go to the average function, and I would like the average of B2 and C2 and D2. And let's see. Okay, so there's the average age of the household, 31, about 31 years old. So if we just stop recording the macro here, we could go down here and just apply the macro, and it's going to give us maybe not. Let's try that again. If we went down here and just applied the macro, it should give us the result that we wanted. Okay, so something went wrong. I'm going to try to run the macro again. Let's try it down here. Let's record a macro. Okay, let's call this one names2 because we already have one. Names2. So that's our reference point. We're going to go to where we would like the answer to appear. We're going to go to the average function, and we would like, B3 as well as C3 and D3 to be averaged together to give us the number 30, which would be the average age of the household. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to do the same thing. Oh, sorry, we need to stop the macros recording. We're going to go down here and do the same thing at a relative point. And we're going to run it. There's that number. Okay, now I think I know what I did wrong. When I didn't run it the first time, I think that I didn't click on the relative point that we wanted to use. So we're going to go and try the first macro that I created. And there's the age. So they both work. It's just relative to where you would like the results to pull from, which was what we use as our relative reference. So both of those work. We can go back up and try it here as well. Here's a relative reference of the father's age. And we're going to view the macro. This is name 1. Ready? There's the age. So there we have it. Those are both my my macros to be programmed. Thank you.